What's up everybody, Red Ninja here, and I'm doing a review on the Tomorrow Children. It was a free beta that came out and had testing. It wasn't too long ago. And my opinions it was fun, but it was kind of repetitive. Like, you notice I was just loading up the bus with materials. I mean, you find yourself just doing that a lot, and loading materials, unloading them. And pretty soon you'll see where they go. I'll show you like the special area to help build up your city. I thought it was kind of interesting how they had like communist, advertisements. Made it definitely seem a lot more grim. And then there's giant bug monsters for no reason because you live in the void. And the void is apparently like the Matrix or something like that. It's just a place where anything can. What I say when I say anything could happen is I mean the environment is completely random. For example, like the place you're mining at can just totally vanish from right under your feet. And you're kind of screwed if you're not next to the bus and you can't hop away. Now the jetpack is very important. That means if you get Freeman dollars, you're definitely going to want to use them on a vehicle license. Of course, weapon licenses are important because weapons are very useful because of the amount of Iversbergs that run around. The shotgun can one hit the small ones, which hopefully you'll see in this video. And the large ones, you kind of need a rocket for. And it's going to be really expensive if you're depending on the black market to get all this stuff. Because basically, I mean, you only have so many Freeman dollars to start out with. If you don't want to be spending money on microtransactions, you're going to make sure you get these licenses right away. And where you get the licenses are from these officers that run around your town. I didn't know where to buy the vehicle permit or the weapons permit until later in the beta when I spent all my Freeman's dollars, which sucked because, I mean, it's kind of limited when you can't do things. Like, there's little hover cars that you can build, and if you have a vehicle license, you can drive them around, which definitely beats the bus because it sucks waiting for the bus. It sucks in real life, just like it sucks in a video game. And the jetpack, too. I mean, you need a vehicle license to be able to buy it, and it really helps because you can't walk in that blank space. Even though it looks like solid ground, you sink and die. And that's probably like one of the most challenging parts of the game is transportation, because you either go to the mining area through the bus, or you get there with the jetpack, or a hover car. One thing I did like a lot was the exploration, because even though you're transported to simple locations that seem repetitive, it's still interesting to go inside and see what resources or how they look inside and navigate the darkness, because the darkness is actually pretty scary in this game. You lose health the longer you're in the dark. I don't know if you can notice, but like there's like little red pixels on my character. That means he's like not doing good because he's in the dark. The dark is very bad in this game, and you'll learn that. And you'll find these little natural lights to help you when you're inside a mine. See, there's a regular lamp, but someone stole it from me, which is weird. And that's how you know this game's online, because people come like a ghost and just steal your stuff. It's kind of rude. One thing I really didn't like was you can only hold 3 objects and 1 in your hand. Like, even if they're as small as apples, it doesn't have to do with size. You just can only hold 3 resources. You can't really hold that many mining objects or weapons. It's a really communist game. Like, you can't just be the awesome dude who has everything, because it limits your slots. It's okay, I guess, but it takes away from the gameplay not being able to hold a lot of items. And since this is only a beta, who knows if that'll change, but it's just not fun when you can only collect so much. I think this game, which obviously copies Minecraft, isn't exactly like Minecraft like that. Like, in Minecraft you can gather as many resources as you need. In here, you can only stay out mining for so long before you're just wasting time. Your pickaxe has a good amount of uses, but they aren't really dependable. You can't hold enough to where you don't need to go back to the store and constantly buy new pickaxes. Unless, of course, you dish out a lot of money on Freeman dollars, which I'm going to assume you buy as an extra currency with your money, because a lot of games these days really need microtransactions, because you can't just get the whole game for the price you paid. You gotta pay extra. I'm hoping that maybe they give you free Freeman dollars when it comes out, but if this game has like a $60 price tag and they still charge you for Freeman dollars, that'd be crazy. Seriously. I thought the trees looked pretty interesting, especially since there's different kinds. I'm not exactly sure what dictates how they're different, but there's like also these green trees which look pretty cool, and the pink Dr. Seuss trees. I mean, the monuments or whatever, the mining objects, they look more like monuments because they always have a specific shape to them. Like that one's a giant head. There's like a giant pig one, and then there's random balls, which are my least favorite because you need a jetpack to really be able to get. Like, I bet there's some good stuff in those higher missiles. It just sucks that by this point in the beta, I had spent all my Freeman dollars and wasted all my jetpack fuel. I mean, the objects you buy with your Freeman dollars would probably be better if they didn't run out. But here, I'm just cutting down trees because that's what you're going to end up doing in the majority of the game, is going for resources. I mean, there's not really too much room for discovery because that's all there is to discover is more resources. And it's just about teamwork, I guess, because it's impossible for you to get a lot of resources. You can only hold 3 resources. As you see, I just picked up 3. Of course, you could pick up a 4th one and hold it in your hands, but that's not always a good option, especially if you're in the dark and you need a lamp or something. Or even holding a flashlight just requires you to put down whatever you're holding. And the whole waiting time, it can be changed. Like if you have a better chainsaw, like the one that you get with Freeman dollars, it'll definitely go a lot faster, but at the same time, you're paying out of your pocket. The objects were very interesting. I really like the jackhammer. It's really great for just getting across obstacles. Like, I used it to get to that middle place where you can't mine without a jetpack. And it's definitely cool that, you know, there's so many things out there. It's just, to get them, you either need Freeman dollars or a license, and it takes away from the game. Because you have to pay for everything. Especially in the beta, where you couldn't even pay for Freeman dollars, as far as I knew. I didn't see any options to buy Freeman dollars. You just are handed it. So in the beta, if you don't buy the licenses that you need, which you can only afford 2, I think, or I forgot how much money they gave you. I think it was 1,000, which you could buy 2 licenses with. But it just sucks that you need Freeman dollars to really enjoy this game. It doesn't matter how much work you do, how much you mine, how many resources you gather. You're not going to be allowed to use a jetpack, a hover car, a shotgun, a jackhammer, unless you have a license, which costs 500 Freeman dollars, which I'm not sure how much that cost in real life currency, but it's still a lame feature to the game, and it feels like it should have been put in the game, or you should have been able to earn that license, but for some reason, money obviously, they just decided to make you buy it. Which sucks because, I don't know, the beta would have been so much more funner to play, and I probably would have invested more time into it if I would have had both of the licenses I wanted, which was a vehicles license and a weapons license. I'm pretty sure there's another license, but I don't think you can afford it with the money they give you. And here's the dead body of an Iverson. These things are huge and hard to kill, honestly. Even the whole rocket launcher won't take him out, and those are the good quality rocket launchers, not the cheap ones that you get from the communist era, Russia, whoever you're working for. But mining them does seem pretty cool, but you only get that. Like, I mined this whole Iverson, and I don't know, I just got those gems. They're definitely kind of worth killing, although they do require a lot of effort and non-stop shooting and they also attack your city once you attack them. But if you can down one, you do get resources from it. Not a great amount, like the whole body isn't full of resources. I can assure you, because I checked this whole thing for resources and was wasting my time. That's what most of this clip is. But at least you get to see the dead body of an Iverson, I guess. But they just turn into some kind of weird rock mineral. And I don't know if it disappears on its own or not, because you're in the city. I know outside the city it probably will, because things just disappear out there. Or it might not disappear, because I've also put in jackhammer blocks out there in the middle of the void, and it stays there. It doesn't disappear or anything. Building up your city can be fun in this game, but how much fun can it possibly be? You're gonna get bored eventually. Of course, there's hover cars and stuff, which I'd like to later on see how they work. I didn't have a vehicle license when I played the beta, so I didn't really get to enjoy that. I think there was even like a tank-like vehicle, which was pretty cool. But like I said, I didn't have a vehicle license, so unfortunately a lot of the fun was cut out of the game. And pay to play, which I'm not saying this game is pay to play or if they're going to charge you. I don't know how it's going to work. But you really can't get the most out of the game unless you pay. And that's where Tomorrow Children definitely is at. Because if you don't have Freeman dollars, you're going to be kind of bored. I'm not sure if the Freeman dollars are a way to show you how much communism sucks and makes your life harder. But that's definitely a big message in this game. Because the only way that I know to get the permit to either drive a vehicle, use a weapon, or use heavy tools is to use Freeman dollars. I didn't see another way besides Freeman dollars to get those objects, which make this game very enjoyable. Which makes the rations and all the regular work you do not really profitable to you unless you're building your city. Otherwise, I mean, I don't see a point to collect resources if you got Freeman dollars. If you got Freeman dollars, you really don't need to do anything except, I don't know, have fun. The only cool thing you can do with the resources is build cars and stuff. But even if you build a car, if you don't have a license to drive it, it becomes pretty useless. So Freeman dollars are a huge part of this game. And if you don't plan on dishing out money to get Freeman dollars, I don't think you're going to enjoy this game that much. And you might enjoy it, but trust me, it's not as fun. Now, there are ways around that. Like if you buy your license with whatever Freeman dollars they give you, like in the beta, which is one mistake I made, and I always regretted it the whole time I'm playing, was not buying my permits with the Freeman dollars and just wasting it all on the black market because I didn't know any better. That's the only downside, is if you really have to know how you're going to spend your money. You have to be very careful with your resources, at least your Freeman dollars. Because I didn't know that this game had some kind of currency that involved real world money. I didn't figure it was going to be like a cell phone game. And the Iversons are taken out pretty easy by a shotgun. I had the shotgun you get from the black market, so I can't exactly say if the regular shotgun is as effective at taking them out. But you need weapons if you're going to survive. I mean, yeah, you can fight these guys with the chainsaw, but it's just not as effective. You can't fight everything with the chainsaw like the giant Iversons. So when they don't give you a permit, it sucks. And those are the guards that you get the permit from. But of course, they require 500 Freeman dollars, which if you don't have, you're out of luck. So Tomorrow Children was a fun, I guess, experience. But it wasn't anything like groundbreaking. It was just random digging areas that ended up repeating themselves. It was a decent game, but I don't see myself ever buying it or wanting to play it again. And that's the end of this video. See you later.